Well, new tonight, a Maryland woman is struggling to understand who would murder her twin sister.
The case of Jody LaCornu has baffled detectives in Baltimore County and the victim's family for nearly 3 decades.
Just a few minutes earlier, Jody LaCornu had been sitting across the street in her white Honda Civic making phone calls. Someone drove up to her car, briefly spoke to her, then fired one shot as she drove away.
Several law enforcement agencies have joined Midlothian police hunting for the person who murdered a fitness instructor.
5 years ago, a North Texas fitness instructor was killed as she was preparing to teach a class in a North Texas church.
Welcome to today's news, where we bring you the latest updates on some seriously messed up stories. Get ready to question your faith in humanity as we cover the bizarre and tragic tales of Missy Beavers and Jody LaCornu. From mysterious murders to unsolved disappearances, it's a roller coaster of emotions that will leave you wondering what kind of world we're living in. So buckle up and get ready for a wild ride, because you won't believe the twists and turns in store for you. Oh joy, let's dive into the heartwarming story of Jody LaCornu and Missy Beavers, two lucky gals who were just minding their own business before being mysteriously murdered in cold blood. How exciting! One was taken out by a police tactical gear-wearing assassin, while the other was executed like a common criminal in the wee hours of the morning. No one knows who did it, but who needs answers when we can gossip about their deaths in this video? Let's talk about Jody LaCornu and her dear twin sister Jenny. They were joined at the hip, shared a room, friends, and hobbies. Jody was the strong twin who always wore a smile and was apparently a saint on earth. Her family and friends describe her as having a heart of gold and always helping those in need. How precious. Jody was a 23-year-old student studying geriatrics at Towson University in Maryland. And oh look, she even had a part-time job as a receptionist at a bank. How quaint. Let's get into the juicy details of Jody's last evening. March 1st, 1996, started off like any other boring day for Jody. She went to work at the bank and then headed off to the Mount Washington Tavern to have a drink with some friends. How thrilling. Jody stayed there until closing time, which was a whopping 2 a.m. After the bar closed, she generously offered to give an employee a ride home. So kind of her. But wait, the excitement doesn't end there. Jody then went to an ATM to withdraw some cash and made a pit stop at the curb shop bar to grab some beers. Wow, what a wild night. Because here's where things get really interesting. After leaving the curb shop bar with her beers, Jody headed over to the Drumcastle Shopping Center parking lot at a thrilling time of 3 a.m. to make some phone calls. She first tried calling the manager of the Mount Washington Tavern, but he didn't want to chat. How rude. She then called her former roommate's boyfriend, but we have no idea what they talked about. So mysterious. Suddenly, a wild white BMW pulls into a nearby spot, and a mysterious man gets out and approaches Jody. Who is he? We may never know. They exchange some words before he heads back to his car. And then, drumroll please, he shoots Jody through the back left passenger window of her car. Jody tries to drive away but, alas, crashes into a curb and passes away. What a thrilling and mysterious end to Jody's life. Oh boy, it's not just us who witnessed the thrilling murder of Jody. A delivery person at a nearby business happened to see the whole thing go down. How lucky for them. They immediately called the police and watched as Jody's car rolled out of the parking lot with the white BMW in tow. According to this eyewitness, the suspect even had time to reach into Jody's car and grab something before fleeing the scene. Talk about multitasking. Sadly, by the time the police showed up, Jody had already passed away. How anticlimactic. Jody's sister Jenny hasn't given up on finding her sister's killer, and after 26 years, she's still determined to seek justice. What a trooper. Jenny recently raised enough funds to put up not 1, not 2, but 3 billboards in the area where Jody was killed. That ought to do the trick. The eyewitness was able to give a description of the suspect as a black male with a stocky build, wearing a green-colored army or camouflage-style coat. Hey, at least we have something to go on. And if you happen to have any information that can lead to the capture of Jody's killer, you might just be able to get your hands on a cool $100,000 reward. Now that's a hefty chunk of change. Just contact Metro Crime Stoppers of Maryland at 866-7-LOCKUP 756-2587 and give them the scoop.
When she died, I feel like half of me died too.
Midlothian police, as of tonight, have not caught her killer, but they're not giving up hope. Last week, they did tell us that they keep getting tips, and they have hired also a retired federal agent to try to figure out what happened, the who and the why.
Move over Wonder Woman. Missy Beavers was a stay-at-home mom turned fitness instructor who conquered the world of health and wellness in Midlothian, Texas. With 3 kids in tow and a loving husband, Missy put her special education career on hold and dedicated her life to her family before kicking butt and taking names in the fitness industry. She was a shining star in her small town, known for her generous spirit and love of helping others. Looks like Missy Beavers is just a superhuman. She had it all figured out, leaving her job to raise her kids, and then BAM decides to become a fitness instructor and ends up becoming a sensation in Midlothian, Texas. It's almost like she had a secret superhero power or something. Terry Leanne Strickland may have been her birth name, but to her friends and family, she was always Missy, a woman with a heart of gold and a work ethic to match. After tying the knot with Brandon Beavers in 1980, Missy went on to teach special education before deciding to hang up her grading pen and focus on being a stay-at-home mom to their 3 daughters. But that wasn't enough for Missy. Oh no. She went on to become a fitness guru in Midlothian, Texas, because who needs a break, right? Whether she was teaching in the classroom, chauffeuring her kids around, or leading a group of sweaty gym-goers, Missy always had a smile on her face and a helping hand to lend. Missy wasn't just any old fitness instructor, she was a damn leader. Her students worshipped the ground she walked on, not just because she motivated them to sweat out all their insecurities, but because she made them believe in themselves. She transformed into a fitness guru when her kids stopped clinging to her leg all the time, dedicating herself to exercise and studying until she was in the best shape of her life. And for a mom in her mid-40s, that's no small feat. Who cares about having a six-pack when you have a heart of gold like Missy Beavers? Her friends and family don't remember her for her toned biceps or tight abs, but for her inspiring personality and compassionate spirit. Apparently, she was a great teacher, an even better mom, and now a fitness instructor for a program called Camp Gladiator. After Missy's murder, her husband Brandon was amazed by the love and support pouring in from the Camp Gladiator community. Who knew that a fitness program could provide such a strong emotional bond? Everyone was shocked and devastated by the loss of Missy, the epitome of a loving and caring individual. Even the church community was at a loss to explain how such a heinous crime could happen to someone so pure-hearted. The early morning hours, where most people are cozily snuggled up in bed, dreaming of rainbows and unicorns. But not Missy Beavers. Oh no. She was up and at 'em, ready to lead her devoted fitness disciples in a grueling 5 a.m. workout. It was raining, but no problem, because Missy had made a Facebook post declaring that even if the sky was falling, her followers would still be sweating it out. Little did she know that a mysterious figure, dressed in unofficial police gear, casual Fridays, perhaps, had already broken into the church where the class was scheduled to take place. Security cameras captured the intruder roaming the dark halls like a lost puppy, smashing windows, and rummaging through offices like a raccoon looking for a midnight snack. What could they be searching for? And why on earth did they choose the church as their personal playground? So many questions, so little time. Well, Missy's fitness class started out as planned at 5 a.m., but unfortunately, one of her eager students was met with a bit of a surprise when they discovered Missy's unresponsive body with some questionable holes in her chest and head. Of course, the police were called, and they arrived on the scene to confirm that Missy had indeed passed away due to multiple puncture wounds caused by some kind of hammer or mallet-like object. It's a real head-scratcher why someone would choose to do this to such a beloved member of the community, but I'm sure the police are on the case, so there's nothing to worry about, right? Oh boy, police had a real Sherlock Holmes case on their hands after Missy Beavers' murder. The surveillance video footage they released showed a mysterious figure wandering around the church, but good luck figuring out who or what it was. The suspect was practically a chameleon in terms of their appearance and gender, but at least they had a unique walk that might help identify them. They walked like a penguin with their feet pointing outwards, so if you see someone waddling down the street like a flightless bird, you might want to alert the authorities. Well, it seems that Randy Beavers wanted to make sure his blood-soaked shirt was nice and clean before he returned it to his dog, who was obviously resurrected after being attacked by another dog. I mean, what else could explain the non-human blood found on the shirt? Of course, the public couldn't help but speculate that the Beavers family might have been involved in Missy's murder. But fear not, dear citizens, the alibis of Randy, Vicky, and Brandon were as tight as their freshly laundered shirts. $50 grand is up for grabs for anyone who can give the cops a lead on who offed Missy Beavers. So if you've got a tip, don't be shy, your bank account will thank you. Well folks, that's all for today's episode of Murder and Mayhem with a side of sarcasm. We hope you enjoyed hearing about the mysterious deaths of Jody LaCornu and Missy Beavers. Remember, if you have any information that could lead to the arrest and indictment of their murderers, you could be eligible for a cash reward. But let's be real, we all know the real reward is the fame and glory that comes with solving a true crime case. Until next time, stay safe and don't forget to lock your doors. Or don't, it's your funeral.